Today's lesson is on linear inequality involving variable on one side. Linear inequality involving a variable on one side. And once we understand the concept of linear equation, this one becomes simple. So I will use three main examples to illustrate this one. Example 1. Solve for m if 3m is greater than 12. You see, when we were treating linear equation, I brought an equal sign here, but now I have introduced a symbol called greater than. That's why in our previous lesson I said linear inequality involves symbols. So it's the same methodology in solving linear equations, so we won't waste time on this topic. 3m is greater than 12. This means you divide through by the coefficient of m, which is what? 3. And what you do to the left hand side, you do the same thing to the right hand side. So m is greater than 4. M is greater than 4. Example 2. If 3x plus 4 is less than or equal to 10, I solve for x. I represents your answer on a number line. So let us solve this one. It becomes, you group like terms. You group like terms, because for linear inequation and inequality is the same methodology. You group like terms here. Group like terms. So always you must let the one with variable remain at the left hand side of the equation. It becomes 3x is less than or equal to 10. And once this crosses, it becomes negative. So 3x is less than or equal to 6. You divide both sides by 3. X is less than or equal to 2, because 3 goes into 6, 2. This is our answer. You have been asked to represent this on a number line. And now, I believe you all know how to represent it on a number line. This 0 divides the number line into 2. So once we have these two, these are positive values and these are negative values. So as I said, you write these 2 here. Once you've written these 2 here, you negate the same 2. One becomes positive and one becomes negative. I'm teaching it in the simplest way. It's not that you should list 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not important. So s is less than or equal to 2. We are talking of 2. So you draw your circle. But because it's less than or equal to, the circle should be what? Shaded. It should be shaded. So this is where our arrow will go because of this sign, the less than sign. S is less than or equal to 2. So don't get confused of the greater than and less than. If you take a number line, you see we are having 2 main arcs. This arc is a greater than. And when we talk of less than, this is the less than symbol. So always use this one to distinguish between greater than and what? Less than. Less than moves to the left hand side and greater than moves to the what? Right hand side. Let us take our last example under linear inequality involving variable on one side. 3. If negative 2x is greater than 8, I solve for x. I represent your answer on a number line. You see now, I've given you negative 2x is greater than what? 8. And now the coefficient of the variable is negative. And once the coefficient of the variable is negative, and we are dividing through by negative, the symbol will what? Change. So you divide here by negative 2, here by negative what? 2. And once you are dividing through by negative, this symbol will change to what? Less than. But it can't be changed to less than or equal to. But greater than or equal to will be changed to less than or what? Equal to. And since they gave us greater than, it will be changed to less than. And if here was less than, here will be what? Greater than. So 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 4. It becomes negative 4. Always people get confused when we reach this part, because they normally think that once maybe here was supposed to be 2 and this portion was negative 8, they think once you get a negative answer, the symbol should change. That's not the case. Always the symbol will change once you divide through by the coefficient of s, which is what? Negative, or the coefficient of the variable, which is negative. It's not when you get a negative answer. No. I'm taking it again. If the coefficient of the variable is negative and you are dividing through by negative, that's when your symbol will change. Now let us take this trial question so that at our leisure time we can have a feel on it. If 4k plus 3 is less than or equal to 6k plus 4, I find the value of k. I represent your answer on a number line. So I'm now done with today's heading.